Do you guys remember this lady? Well, I'm trying not to laugh. This is her now.
It's been happening.
They voted por Donald Trump. Donald Trump deport. You heard that right, guys. Jeanette Correa, the famous Trump singing lady, has had her husband detained by ICE. And not only that, but he got put on expedited removal. They want him out of the US. They don't want him. But of course, we've been telling them this all along. They don't want you, bro.
They sang for him, they rallied behind him, they voted for him. But now, they're paying the price. Janet Correa, a Cuban immigrant and proud MAGA supporter, was once the face of Latino support for Donald Trump. But today, she's in tears. Her husband has just been detained by ICE, and she's realizing that loyalty doesn't protect you. Hello everyone and welcome back to Trending Pulse Worldwide. My name is Amy and today we're talking about a powerful and honestly heartbreaking moment in the Cuban American MAGA community. Janet Correa, who once led chants and sang pro-Trump songs in public, is now pleading for help after ICE came for her husband. And the wild part is, she knew her husband wasn't a US citizen. She knew he was undocumented, but she still believed somehow that none of this would ever touch them. And I know you probably saw her, but you didn't know her by then. Well, Janet went viral a while back for her passionate Trump song, waving the American flag and smiling proudly at a MAGA rally. She looked confident and bothered, like someone who truly believed she was on the winning team. But now, reality has hit her home. Her husband is being deported and she's devastated, crying, calling out, begging for help, begging the very system she supported to show mercy. And she's not the only one. Another Cuban man came out in a video saying, "I voted for Trump because I knew he wouldn't go after Cubans because as Cubans we are good people." And now he regrets voting for Trump because what Trump is doing to them. And that statement from him tells us everything, that these voters didn't expect the system to turn inwards. They thought that crackdown was for those other people. But when the machine starts rolling, it doesn't ask questions about your politics. It just executes the orders. Let's take a look.
I didn't think they was going to go after Cubans. We are not the bad people. I vote Trump because he wants to help the people, but this is not right.
It's the same lady who sings the Donald Trump song. Her name is Jeanette Correa. She is a Cuban in Florida, and her husband is being deported. Honestly, this brings me joy. For years, especially in Florida, a large portion of the Cuban community has been reliably voting Republican, and more recently full-blown MAGA. I think Florida Cubans are some of the most problematic Latinos in terms of voting. They rallied behind Trump as he screamed about mass deportation, somehow thinking it wouldn't apply to them. Surprise. And I'm so glad that they voted themselves out of our country. Trump campaigned on mass deportation and these MAGA Cubans voted for mass deportation and now they're getting deported. They got what they voted for and I love that for them. A lot of Cubans possibly seeking legal status like naturalization in the US have now eliminated themselves from the voting rolls. And
like when I see stuff like that, I'll be kind of sad because I'll be wanting to care. Like it's like 10% of me, like I'll be wanting to care, but then I'll be like, yeah, you didn't. You didn't give a fuck. Not until it started affecting y'all anyway. I will vote for Donald Trump. Hey, that shit kind of slide though. I will vote, yeah, for Donald Trump. Y'all was getting it. Y'all was jigging. See, but why y'all gotta do that though? Like, why y'all gotta like make songs and wear the merchandise and wear the hat and get the tattoo? That's too many receipts of y'all looking stupid. I mean, I fuck with the bars, I fuck with the flow, but y'all gotta change the lyrics up a little bit now. Y'all gotta change the lyrics up. Now y'all gotta be like, Donald Trump, yeah, he got my vote. Yeah, now Donald Trump putting us on a board. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say Trump, you gotta roll the R's with it. It's dope though.
Before we continue, let's not forget Heidi Sanchez either, a Cuban mom deported earlier this year. She was married to a US citizen, she had 1-year-old baby, she was still breastfeeding, and I still sent her back to Cuba within 48 hours after a routine check-in. And she didn't even get to say goodbye. Now she's in Havana, crumbling for Wi-Fi just to video call her child. It's so sad.
You was singing all that mess, talking about I we bo for Donald Trump. And now you're screaming, shouting, acting like we're supposed to give a damn about your husband being deported after you was singing, talking about, I love my freedom. But your man ain't free no more, is he? Like we supposed to have to get.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you don't listen to black women or people of color to say, don't vote for this man. Just because you look like his skin color, do not vote for this fucking man. And here we are. Yeah, they're hunting all of us down like fucking animals because that's what they see us as, is animals. And you want to come on here crying and complaining. That's the problem, is everyone who was light-skinned Latino or whatever the fuck case may be thought that y'all would get a free pass just because you guys were light-skinned enough. But y'all definitely weren't white-skinned enough, and that's the problem. You really thought they had your fucking best interests at heart, and they're not. And it's fucking embarrassing that this country is literally building itself on literally racism. That's what this country is now. It's no longer home of the free, land of the brave. It's land of the racists and land of the white hooded people who want to go ahead and control every goddamn thing. Literally, that's all it is. So don't jump on here crying and complaining, saying, are you guys okay with this? Of course we're not fucking okay with it. But this is the consequences of your guys' actions, and it's fucking disappointing.
Being from Miami, I don't know how to feel about Cubans being in their find out era. Because they took over Miami, and it was to the point where you couldn't even find a job unless you spoke Spanish. And even if you spoke Spanish and you wasn't Cuban, you wasn't getting that job. And I give them a lot of credit because before their family or friends would leave Cuba, they would already have a job, a car, and a place to stay by the time they reached Miami. Like, they really set up their people very, very well. They even had a wet foot, dry foot policy. Where they messed up at was thinking that they thought becoming a Republican was going to make them and the whole time they're speaking Spanish, and a majority of them didn't even bother to learn English, but yet they thought they were. And my main question is, what is the difference between Fidel Castro and 45?
And you know, we've been saying this over and over again. Trump made it very clear. He said he plans to deport over 1 million people if he returns to office, no matter how long they've lived here, no matter if they have US citizen spouses or children. This is what he said, and this is what he's actually doing. And this wasn't speculation, it was part of his immigration plans. And all Cubans who supported him are now realizing they are not exempt. And the sad part is some of these voters believe they were different, that they were the good immigrants, the ones who work hard, who vote Republican, who wave the flag. And for a long time, maybe they thought that made them immune, that MAGA policies were only aimed at others, at Mexicans, at Muslims, at blacks, at brown communities further away from whiteness. But today, the truth is undeniable. The system doesn't protect proximity. It doesn't reward loyalty. It only enforces power, and it does so blindly. But you know what? Watching Janet cry is painful, but it's also a reality check. When you support policies that are designed to hurt people, you can't always control where the pain lands. You might think you are on the winning team until they come for your husband. Then it's not politics anymore, it's your life. So guys, what do you think? Should we feel bad for Janet and other Cuban Trump supporters going through this? Or is this a necessary lesson about what happens when you support policies that weaponize fear? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. And guys, if you enjoyed this breakdown, kindly give this video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real talk on stories that actually matter here on Trending Pulse Worldwide. Thank you so much guys for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.